Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're gonna talk about Shakur Foster after getting a sensational victory over Stephen Coolboy Steph Fulton, setting his sights on the near future, and that may be a Shakur Stevenson fight. We're gonna get into the exchange that they had on social media and all that good stuff, man. We're going to talk about Gervonta Davis going off on his fans, just disrespecting them yet again while they continue to support him for some strange reason. We definitely going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about the possibility of Lamont Roach and Cruz rematching and what their thoughts were on the man that didn't want to give neither one of them a rematch, Gervonta Davis. You feel what I'm saying? But before we get into that, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in, that'd be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We went into the 3,200 mark. About to hit that 3,300 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. What's going on? I'm already seeing 14 people in the building within the first minute. Okay. I seen the notifications that got sent out, man. I'm feeling appreciated by the YouTube spaces. You feel what I'm saying? I appreciate that very much, man. Y'all just do me that favor and go ahead and hit the like button, man. Let's get the algorithm on the up so the people know that Mazuma TV is live. I was a little bit late, like the usual, to be honest, but the reason why I was watching that P. Diddy documentary, bro, that 50 Cent had put out, very, very telling, very detailed, you know what I mean? Gave me clarity on things I didn't know before. And listen, that's just one side of the story, so I'm not going to jump out and just be so positive. That's the reality and what happened and shit. But goddamn, if that is true, man, that boy P. Diddy, that's a shiesty motherfucker, bro. Shiesty motherfucker, but I mean, if you ain't see that, go take it. Go take the time to watch that because I think P. Diddy's team sent like a cease and desist. I don't know if Netflix is gonna uphold that, but there's a possibility they might take that down at any moment. So you know what I mean. Take the time to go check that out. Pretty dope. Shout out to the boy Stranger in the building. What up? What up? He says, when asked if there was going to be a rematch, that boy Pitbull said, I'm not Tank Davis. If y'all want a rematch, let's do it. Damn, Tank catching all types of strays. Well, those would have been strays that he would have never had to take if, you know, he gave motherfuckers rematches. You know what I mean? And look, I didn't really care too much for the Eastside Cruz rematch because at the end of the day, he outboxed the shit out of Eastside Cruz. He did it with one hand. Now, the Lamont Roach fight, that was a bit different because you can make a strong case, you can make an argument that Lamont Roach actually won that fight if it wasn't due to the politics that Roach had to face in that fight. You see what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? I wanted to see the Lamont Roach rematch. I felt like that was a no-brainer. No other fight should have been made outside of that. So I would understand that. But Eastside Cruz, I never really cared for that rematch. I told y'all that time and time again. But, you know, he would have never had caught that stray if he would have followed through with that rematch with Lamont Roach. Simple and plain. Marissa Alvarez, what's going on, little sis? How you feeling? Good to see you. Lorenzo and the motherfucking Benzo showing love from Tokyo, Japan. God damn. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob. We in here. You know what I mean? We out here. We global, baby. We definitely global out here in these streets. Coffee Plant, what up? He said Tank tripping. I mean, that's what he do. He disrespect his people that love him. You know what I'm saying? And they could tell you to defend them. This shit is like this has to be like some sort of like mental illness, bro. Like, I don't know what you call it. Like that, like y'all motherfuckers sound like battered women out here. Like the ones that, you know, and this ain't no, you know, making fun of them or anything, but this is a reality. Unfortunately, there's women who, you know, get in physically, mentally, verbally abusive relationships with their significant other, and they develop this type of syndrome where regardless of how bad they're being treated or how badly they're being beaten, they always find their way back over to that person. That's exactly how I look at Gervonta Davis fans, bro. Like, y'all, that man take every opportunity to shit on y'all, and y'all just keep coming around, keep defending him. Like, y'all weird, bro. It's hard to argue that y'all heterosexuals moving like that. I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Southwest Dice, what up? Chris Maldonado, what up? He said 50 took an interview and talked shit on a news channel he knew they were showing in prison. Yeah, 50 is he's different, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. That boy different. My boy Lorenzo in the building said, do the Devin Haney. Do the Devin Haney. Yeah, that's what Lamont Roach should have did. He should have did the Devin Haney. And we wouldn't have gotten this draw. You feel what I mean? And I made a video about it, but my son kept interrupting this shit, taking my phone and yelling in the background. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna just save it for the live later. But I'm definitely trying to get more consistent with the videos later on. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, 50 definitely a menace. I see somebody comment like, I see exactly why he got shot 9 times. And I'm like, that's a fucked up comment, but at the same time, I understand it. My boy Southwest Dice in the building. He ain't too fond of Tank like many of us, and he says, "I hope Tank retires." I do too, bro. Like that's my viewpoint on things. It's like because I'm not one of those guys that I'm a fan of the sport first, and I always, if you're new to the sport of boxing, be a fan of the sport first before you are a fan of any of these fighters. What I mean by that is uphold the integrity of the sport. As a boxing fan, you should want to see what other sports fans will see. Like in football, when the Super Bowl comes around, we want to see the best facing the best. When the NBA Finals come around, we want to see the 2 top teams in the in the National Basketball Association face each other in a 7-game series to see who comes out on top. You know what I mean? Same thing with baseball. If you're a baseball fan, of course, you want to see the 2 best teams in the Major League and in Major League Baseball face off against each other to see who's the best that season. You know what I mean? As a boxing fan, you should want to see the best facing the best. Hands down, no debating. If you're okay with a fighter ducking top tier competition because you happen to be a fan of them, you are very toxic to the sport. You are contributing to the dysfunction of the sport, and there you are a reason why these fighters feel okay with half-assing the fans. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my whole take. If y'all new to the sport, y'all trying to get into the sport, please. The first thing that y'all philosophy, I guess you would say, that you should adopt from the very beginning of your tenure as a boxing fan, be a fan of the sport first before you are a fan of the individual. You avoid a lot of disappointment, for one. You know what I mean? Because if you just put all your belief into a fighter instead of like the sport in itself, you know what I mean? They start becoming a duck or whatever the case is. That'll make you question whether you like the sport or not. Don't even take that approach. You know what I'm saying? Put the sport first. You support a fighter as long as they're supporting you in terms of giving you the fight you're looking for. Like, how could you not be a fan of David Benavidez? You know what I'm saying? Like, Benavidez, he truly wants to be great. He's taking the best competition available at the moment, and he's seeking, like, legacy-defining fights. So that's why I rock with, David Benavidez. Ben Rodriguez, look at what he's doing in them smaller weight classes, actually bringing some type of attention to the smaller weight classes, which isn't really, common in the U.S. Doing some historical shit, being a multi-division champion and having a hell of a resume and only being 25 years old. Jerron Ennis, a lot of people seem to criticize him, but that just would come with the game, especially when you are, a generational talent, in my opinion, especially if you're a black athlete. We see it with Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. We see it with Jerron Ennis. We see it with just about all of these top-tier young black American fighters. They're just put on a different pedestal. So what they'll tolerate for somebody who has the complexion for the protection, they're not going to tolerate with you because, whether these haters want to admit it or not, they expect more out of you because they do think that you are that great. You see what I'm saying? Like, these haters be low-key showing how much they admire these guys. And what Drake say, hate is just loving hate at what the fuck he said? Jealousy is just loving hate at the same time. I understand that shit 1,000%. You feel what I mean? Blunt Sports, what up? Marlon said mentally disabled fan base. That's crazy. I can see why you say that though, brother. I can see why you say that. Shout out to my boy Anonymous in the building. He said, I still don't understand why they weren't using a jab for that fight. Would have been a lot easier. Yeah, if they would have established that jab from the very beginning, Cruz probably wouldn't have gotten the knockdown, for one. You know what I mean? I think his counterpunching would have been a lot more fluid if he was building off of the jab. Because I think what would have happened is, since Cruz would have been a sucker for the jab, I think he would have got desperate and tried to shoot some shit over the jab. Lamont could have, shot that jab, took a small step back, or bring the hand back, and then, catch and shoot like they was looking to do. That's what they were calling in the corner throughout mostly every round. You know what I mean? I just think the jab would have put things in motion a lot more smoothly, but it is what it is, man. You live and you learn. Hopefully, Lamont learns from this. You know what I mean? Starting just a bit quicker in the ring, not taking too much time to, assess the fighter. You do have to take some chances at the end of the day. You gotta establish yourself in the very beginning. It shouldn't be taking you 6, 7, 8 rounds to catch a rhythm. Like that's a terrible approach to have. You know what I mean? That's a bad habit to have as a world championship level fighter. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, Lamont said he going back to the drawing board, man. So hopefully they take that into consideration so they won't be, you know, disappointed in future fights. You know what I mean? But I still rock with Lamont Roach. Love his mentality. Love what he brings to the ring. I love his courage. He a dog. You see what I mean? But just because you have it don't mean you have to show it. And that's what I had said in the video earlier that I didn't put out. Just because the gun don't shoot don't mean the gun ain't deadly. You know what I'm saying? Meaning just because you have it don't mean you got to prove to everybody that you have it. Some shit don't need to come up out the toolbox. You feel what I'm saying? If you can make the job easy, make it easy. There's no reason why you should be wanting to prove to this guy that you could fight his fight. For what? For what? To make shit more difficult than what it is, to pick up more punishment than you should have in a fight. You know what I mean? Because I'm the type motherfucker, this is just me personally, and I think this is high Q level shit. If I have an approach that I could take in a fight where I could go 12 rounds and not get hit clean, I'm gonna fucking do it. You know why? Because my health comes first at the end of the day, right? And you already know what Floyd said. The longer that you last, the less you get hit, the longer you last in the sport. But fuck the sport. I'm trying to live as long as I can before I leave Earth. Fuck boxing before I leave Earth. So if that, you know, and you know that entails, you know, taking the least amount of damage possible. So if I'm looking at Cruz's fights, and I'm seeing that it's relatively easy to beat him with this approach that Rayo Venezuela and Gervonta Davis is taking, and I have the tools to do the same job, you better fucking believe I'm gonna do the same shit. And there's nothing that Isak could do about it, because I looked at his fights, I seen that he can't adjust. So nigga, this fight is in my hands. And one thing I'm not gonna do is make it easier for you. For what? If I could smoke you 120, 108 or less on the card, I'm gonna do that. But that's just me, man. I don't know. I just feel like motherfuckers just be a little bit too macho. It's good to have that in you because not a lot of people have it. So it's good to have that quality. But you gotta know when like Floyd said, you gotta know when to turn it on, you gotta know when to turn it off. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to the 15 people that's in the building. I'm highly appreciative of everybody that was hitting the likes. If you haven't hit the likes already, please do so, man. We're gonna have some great conversations today. My boy Southwest Dice said, what Roach do? Fight in the pocket. You know, I wouldn't have minded. See, I don't think like him specifically fighting in the pocket was wrong. You know, I feel like eventually he would have had to do that. You know what I mean? Because Lamont is like a natural counter puncher, in my opinion. So of course you want to stand your ground and make yourself look like a easy target to hit, so that way they could open up and you can make them pay for it. You see what I mean? I understand that. But, you know, Roach should have definitely did things. You know, he should have just he should have just stuck with the basics. Use your jab, move to your right, move to your left. You know what I'm saying? Like, just don't make it easy for Isak to do what he do. You see what I mean? That's just my whole thing. 88 Sports Talk said Lamont was hurting him late and frustrating him. He definitely was. And he did his thing in the later rounds. That was why I believe that he won the fight. Because there were some close rounds in the early on. It could have went either way, but you know, there was some early rounds that I was giving to Lamont. I forgot the numbers exactly, but I didn't write it down. But you know, those later rounds, it was all Roach in my opinion. So I feel like if he would have just established himself a little bit quicker in the fight, we wouldn't be talking about a draw right now. That's just my personal opinion. And I think if he would have just kept him at the end of his jab, I don't think Isak would have been in position to get that knockdown. That's just how I feel about it. Yeah, I mean, my boy Marlon Greatness in the building. My boy Marlon, he said, based off of the numbers, percentage, Roach shouldn't have lost. Judges need to be investigated. Yeah, but you know, the one thing about judges is they're not looking at those numbers as they're scoring the fight. You know what I mean? But I definitely see what you're saying. It's something that's just not right. You feel what I mean? But you know, judges have consistently been an issue in boxing, and I see they're trying to implement certain things to essentially get rid of judges. You know what I mean? Like you see that Turkey lashing them. They're trying to get like judges that do artificial intelligence and shit like that. But shit. My fault. They're trying to get like artificial judges, but they still don't have that shit right yet. Because I've seen a couple scorecards that AI judge did, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? What are they scoring? How did they program this robot to score fights? Because they don't know that shit was terrible. You see what I mean? But they working on it. They working on it. Maybe human judges will be something in the past in due time. But anything that's man-made is gonna have some type of error. They're gonna eventually have some type of errors. So humans gonna need to be involved regardless. My boy Ralph in the building. What up? Marissa feel like Lamont won. Oh, okay. 88 Sports Talk said he had a 7-5 Roach. That's a close fight, man. That's a close fight. Ralph says, I was surprised this fight Isaac's inside game kind of leaky. He was initiating most of the clinches. Yeah, he definitely was. It was almost like he didn't want to fight on the inside. It was something that was discouraging him out. And, when you look at Cruz, he has no choice but to fight like in close quarters. But at the same time, when you watch him create his offense, he has a little bit of space to create that offense. Like I don't really see Cruz often like, being close quarters where like his, he got his head like on his opponent's chest, pause, and you know what I mean? Like he placing those little body shots on the inside and creating angle. Like, no, his inside game is not elite like you think it would be. It's not. And Lamont Roach was exposing that as well. You know what I'm saying? And Lamont nice, man. Lamont nice. I think he just needs to tweak certain things in his game so he can avoid having these draws back to back. Because what it's looking like is if he keep taking those approaches, he either gonna lose or he gonna keep getting draws like Badu Jack. You don't want to be like Badu Jack where it's taking you 6-7 rounds to catch a rhythm and then you start flowing. But by the time you start flowing, you was already down 5-6 rounds. And now you got to win all the late rounds in order to make the fight a draw. Like, I don't understand that shit, bro. Marlon said by 2030, we will have judges. AI is advancing so quickly, y'all, that I wouldn't be surprised if that was a reality. Because, bro, we about to hit 2026. That's 4 years from now. You know what I mean? If there's somehow, some way that they could I guess you would say calibrate or, if there's a way that they could have these, artificial intelligence, like these AI judges to follow the exact criteria. If they're able to program this AI into following a certain, the criteria behind how judges score fights, like clean, effective punches, effective aggression, ring IQ, defense, they say ring generalship, not ring IQ. And there's something else. So it's like clean, effective punches, effective aggression. Let me know if I'm missing something, y'all. Clean, effective punches, effective aggression, defense, ring generalship. Is there something else I'm missing, or that's the 4 right there? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got all 4. But anyways, yeah, they're able to get them, those AI judges to really understand what those 4 criteria are and look for it simultaneously in one fight. I mean, we could really avoid a lot of shit. They're already trying to do robot boxing. That'd be lit. I ain't gonna lie. If we could have like people control the robots and shit, that'd be dope. I think it'd be dope to have like robot sparring partners. You know what I'm saying? Where like, I think that could really step up training. or like you could have robots. Imagine, yo, check this out. Imagine if they had like an AI robot that you could have, right? That let's say you fighting motherfucking Devin Haney. Let's say you fighting Devin Haney, and you could have the robot emulate Devin Haney's style, and they could be your sparring partner for a whole training camp. Like somehow, some way, the robot, looks over, scans through like all these different videos of Devin Haney, and from there they're able to implement his style, and from then you would literally be sparring Devin Haney in AI form. Like preparation will be insane, bro. That would be crazy. I should have kept that to myself, man. That sounds like a multi-million-dollar idea, man. But look, it's 11:06 p.m. in Philadelphia, December 7th of 2025. My idea. Go ahead and try it if you want to, nigga. I'll sue the shit out you. I'll sue the shit out y'all niggas. Y'all take my ideas. I got lawyers, baby. Let's not do that. But at the same time, we don't want these robots punching too hard. You know what I mean? Or having some type of malfunction, and they start going crazy on you, beat the dog shit out you or something like that. I'd be scared of that. Yeah, man. So what are we talking about today, man? As a matter of fact, let's get into this right here. Because O'Shaquie Foster, pretty much being the man of the night, in my opinion, in terms of performances on that card, dominating Stephen Fulton, which I had picked him to lose in all honesty. O'Shaquie goes right on social media and speaks on what he wants next. And with that WBC interim title at 135 pounds, it points to one man in the division who is the full status champion at 135, and that's Shakur Stevenson, who is currently, in the process of, getting ready for Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds. But he's looking to go back down to 135 after defeating Teofimo Lopez. And O'Shaquie is making it clear that that's what he wants next. So Shakur Stevenson said, I put $12K on Foster hoe ass. So obviously they don't have the best relationship. Shaq responds to that and says, blah, blah, you next. Don't run nowhere, chump. With the shut the fuck up emoji. Goddamn. So that's how he's feeling. And he's been, they've been having back and forth with O'Shaquie's like, yo, I want to fight Shakur. Shakur like, man, you need to go ahead and fight Raymond Ford. He in your weight division. Like, why are you worried about fighting me? But I guess Stephen Fulton missing weight was a blessing in disguise for O'Shaquie Foster, because the fight that he's been wanting is Shakur Stevenson. Stephen Fulton misses weight, so the WBC, they trying to get their money. They're like, yo, we put our interim title up for y'all too. Y'all just go ahead and fight. Because technically it's a lightweight contest because Stephen Fulton missed weight, right? Right. So ended up being a blessing in disguise because he defeated Stephen Fulton. Now he's automatically in line if the WBC, mandates it, of course, because, they be a little iffy with the mandatories and mandating fights, forcing guys to face their mandatories. Now he's in line to face Shakur Stevenson and get in the fight that he wants. So this was definitely a blessing in disguise for Shaq. So I'm sure Shakur responded to this. He says, oh, I'm so scared. So obviously this is sarcasm, y'all. What Shakur Stevenson is saying is that he ain't really worried about Shaq. So So there's that. And that was pretty much all that was said between them, and that's Shocky walking out of the ring after defeating Speed and Fulton. So there's that. My personal opinion on this whole situation. Wait, Junior said Shakur moving real scary. Why you say that? Why you say that, brother? Anonymous said it's because they know each other. Shakur literally used to go to Houston to spar with him. Shakur lives in Houston. So he's been living there for a little while now, especially since, like really locking in. I think like he moved over there immediately almost. Like he's been over there for like 5-6 years already, from what I understand. So yeah, it would make sense. You know what I mean? He be training at Jay Prince's gym. Shocky probably then went over there to, get some work in because they're around the same weight division. So they got some history, and that's dope. And Shakur done damn near spar everybody and their mom at this point. So I wouldn't be surprised if he had, sparred just about every top prospect, contender, or champion in boxing right now. Yeah, I mean, Shakur probably got the most sparring. He probably got the most sparring stories just out of just about anybody in boxing, bro. They kept going on. They kept on going on Twitter. Hey man, that's what motherfuckers do when they ain't got fights locked in, man. That's just what goes on with this era. Motherfuckers just be hella Twitter fingers, bro. Ain't nothing that we could really do with that. My whole thing is, if y'all not making a fight, ain't no point in going back and forth. You know what I mean? Like Jerron Ennis said, he said, bro, I'm not going back and forth with you. We making this fight happen or not. And that's the mentality that a lot of these fighters should have. Bro, I'm not going back and forth with you trying to get one up on you and prove that I'm a better trash talker than you. Bro, I'm trying to rumble. Let's get this motherfucking money. What we doing? Like, we grown. We modern day gladiators. We warriors. Like, what we gotta do all this shit talking for? To impress who? Who you not scaring nobody? You ain't scared of me. I ain't scared of you. Why are we doing all this extra shit? Let's get this shit popping. You know what I mean? So, people can feel how they feel, but O'Shaquie just made a great move and getting that WBC interim belt at 135. You see what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. Obviously Shakur Stevenson got a bigger fight coming up against Teofimo Lopez at 140 pounds out in New York. If I was O'Shaquie, I would show up to the fight. If that's a fight that you genuinely want, Shaq, I don't know if you're listening to this, anybody that you know personally is listening to this, but Shaq, go stir up the pot, brother. Go stir up the pot. You already know Raymond Ford gonna be over there. You can talk shit to him, and you know what I mean. You can get some publicity over on that side. You know what I mean? Like, go get your name up, bro. Go attach your name to them dudes. So what? So what? Everybody do it. Pacquiao did it with Floyd. You know what I mean? Ryan Garcia did it with Tank, and like all these dudes be attaching their names to each other to try to get some clout. Fuck it. It is what it is. Go take that flight. Go take that flight. You just came off of one of the biggest wins of your career. Go take that flight over to New York, January, the weekend of January 31st, and go stir that pot up. Go get you a motherfucking ringside seat, whatever the case is, or get you a good seat. They probably give you a complimentary seat, to be honest. And go over there and pop your shit. If you could get your ass in that ring after that fight, go do it. Go do it. Because it ain't like Shakur Stevenson got anything lined up after the Teofimo fight. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, stir the pot up. Go let Shakur know that you here. You serious. That's what we need. Motherfuckers need to be on their Shannon the Cannon shit, on their Muhammad Ali shit. Muhammad Ali was pulling up the niggas' training camps that he was rumbling and was saying that, like, nigga, I'm gonna fuck you up type shit. That nigga showed up to Joe Frazier's gym back in the day while they was getting ready to fight each other. I could find that picture right now. That man, Muhammad Ali, was in Philly, bro. Outside of Joe Frazier gym, talking crazy to him. Look at this shit. Look at this picture right here. Niggas need to bring this shit back, bro. This is Muhammad Ali on Broad and Glenwood. This nigga Muhammad Ali in North Philly, where I came up. Muhammad Ali stands outside Joe Frazier's gym and taunts him in Philadelphia, PA, January 28th, 1971. That was before my pop was even born. That's crazy. But yeah, motherfuckers need to normalize that. Pulling up on dudes, letting them know that you here. Like Shannon and Cannon. What you eat, I eat, champ. Whatever you go, I go, champ. Whatever you eat, I eat, champ. Let's go, champ. Motherfucker, that man Shannon Briggs bought a flat in the UK just so he could have somewhere to stay when he chasing these motherfucking Klitschko's around. Like, that's how dedicated he was to getting that fight. And mind you, he ain't never get it. You know what I mean? Shannon ended up popping for PEDs and shit like that. It is what it is. You know what I mean? It didn't come to reality, but, you know, for some people, that it may work. Damn, your pop was born in 1952. Damn. So it's your pop like 73, bro? Yeah, Bella, I'm the champ and you the chump. Bro, he used to pull up at Klitschko gym. And this nigga Klitschko be getting his hands wrapped. He was like, oh, there he go. Let's go, champ. When you gonna fight me, champ? The 12th of what? January or December? Let me know, Shelton. Happy birthday to the pops, to the OG. Salute. Not many people make it that far in age. That's a blessing, man. Who would I have if Shakur and Foster did rumble? I'm picking Shakur Stevenson. I'm definitely picking Shakur Stevenson because I just feel like he's on a different level in terms of, you know, O'Shaquie could definitely box. You know what I mean? He has skills. That'd actually be a good chess match. Like, that fight would be like for boxing fans. You know what I mean? Not the motherfuckers who be like, man, they ain't got no power, man. They're not, man. They don't even want to get it. They don't even want to get hit, man. I hate these type of fights, man. Y'all like this shit? Yes, nigga. Yes, nigga. I devoted myself to understanding the science. Why wouldn't I enjoy it? I'm a lifer with this shit. Yeah, I like seeing a good chess match. Yeah, I appreciate the little subtle things that make boxing great. You see what I'm saying? So that right there would be a great fight, but I do think that Shakur Stevenson is the more intelligent fighter. I think he has a better understanding of distance than O'Shaquie Foster does. I also think that Shakur Stevenson is the more, you know what I mean? I think he's the more gifted fighter defensively, and I think he's the more accurate puncher. So with him being more accurate offensively, along with being more defensively responsible, and you know, gifted, you know, and understanding range and shit like that, I think all of that together, I think he'll edge out O'Shaquie. I think it'll be competitive. I think it'll be a solid fight. You know, considering their history, you know, they got an understanding of what each other brings to the table. So that's what makes it more competitive. But you know, I would give the you know, if I had to pick one, I would pick Shakur Stevenson. Do I see that fight happening? If it's up to the WBC, right? WBC, they wish-washy, man. It's like one day they want to mandate shit and act like they for the best fights being made in boxing. The other days they not too quick to mandate fights. They be having people sitting on the shelves waiting for opportunity for years. You see what I mean? So it's all dependent upon whether the WBC gonna have the nuts to mandate somebody to fight. You know what I mean? And I don't believe that Shakur would turn down a mandatory. I don't think he would turn down a mandatory, and I don't think O'Shaquie will get an interim belt and not pursue the full status belt. That's just me. You know, O'Shaquie, a two-time world champion, you know, at 130 pounds, I'm sure he would want to collect another belt. So I think they're both willing to – I think they will both, you know, if they're called to, they will fight each other. It's up to the WBC whether they want to, you know, put their foot down and really put that fight in motion. You don't think Shakur is going to move back down? I mean, I would understand. I would understand why you say that, but I heard Shakur Stevenson say verbatim that he was going to defeat Teofimo Lopez, get that Ring Magazine belt and that WBO title, that he said he was going to vacate and go back down to 35 because he's really a 135-pounder. Now, he may go back on those words, but as far as we know, you know, that's Shakur's plans. But let's say there's an instance where he beats Teofimo and another big money fight pops up at 140. He's going to have some, he's going to have some options to weigh, right? So we've heard fighters say one thing and then do another. So, what I mean? It ain't concrete until we see the move take place. Yeah, I mean, but I wanted to show y'all this because I thought this shit was absolutely hilarious, man. Because it's just like, bro, these dudes just can't get enough of the verbal abuse. You know what I mean? Like y'all love being told, y'all love being yelled at by another man. I don't know what to do. I don't know if it gets y'all motherfuckers moist. I don't know what to do. I think y'all dudes are super weird individuals for moving how the way y'all move, but you already know Gervonta Davis had to find his ass back on Twitter to speak his mind after, two of his former opponents, went to fight each other on Saturday night, that being Lamont Roach and Cruz, and he had some things to say. Now, he starts by saying, ask Coach Cameron, how does his throat feel? Why would we ask Cameron that? Super weird. Then somebody by the name of Takeover Season. Oh, my God. These motherfuckers don't be having no shame, bro. This motherfucker going to say, the game missed you, broski. See, the one thing I can't understand, like in Philly, I don't know how other motherfuckers give it up. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. But in Philly, like, we don't call niggas bro if they not really our bro. You know what I mean? Like, you got to know a nigga personally to call him your bro. Anything outside of that, that's called dick eating in Philly. And on top of that, that's also called being Joe. We call women that be Joe, we call them Joeisha. You know what I mean? Like if you on some, that's super Joe, like you on wood. You feel me? So I don't understand, like the game miss you, broski. Like, bro, who the fuck is broski, nigga? You don't know him? And what's that word called? Like parasocial? Y'all some parasocial motherfuckers, man. Y'all be like really worshiping these motherfuckers. Like they don't even know you. You be worshiping their whole motherfucking life. You know what I mean? This is the definition of parasocial right here. It says denoting a relationship characterized by a one-sided, unreciprocated. So meaning this relationship just goes one way and it's not the love is not returned to them. Sense of intimacy felt by a fan or follower for a well-known or prominent figure, aka Gervonta Davis, in which the fan or follower comes to feel that they know the celebrity as a friend. Parasocial ass niggas. Parasocial ass niggas. Fuck you mean the game miss you, broski. You don't even know you. Fuck you calling me bro for? Hoe ass nigga. This nigga gonna follow up and say, fuck y'all. Yo, when I first read that, bro, I was dying. I'm like, yo, this nigga Tank do not care, bro. Like, this dude showing you genuine support. He's showing you real love. He talking about fuck you. Like, what? He ain't trying to hear that shit from nobody. Tank burnt out, bro. Tank's so paranoid, he think everybody hating on him. So you show him love, he think you being fake. Somebody by the name of Kizzy says, and Mace talking crazy. He said, what he say? I'll pull up to that show and beat the shit out of Mace. I think that's what he meant to say. Tank, you're not doing that. Like, what's up with these niggas? Like, y'all pull up and fight niggas now? Yeah, that's what y'all do. When has Tank ever been known to do that? Why you ain't beat the shit out of Tevin Farmer when he pulled up on you? Like, that motherfucker pulled up on you multiple times. I ain't never see a punch go in his direction. You ain't even make a fight with the nigga. When you would have watched him, in my opinion. But the motherfucker ran down on you multiple times. Your hands ain't nowhere to be found. They probably in your pockets. 9 times out of 10. So now you're gonna pull up on Mace and beat the shit out of him. It's like, man, miss me with the bullshit, bro. Tank, you don't be pulling up on nobody. You be pulling up and beating on bitches, nigga. You ain't beating up on no grown men, cuz. The fuck is you talking about? I don't be understanding this shit, bro. Go ask Jim Jones if that would be wise. The nigga who walked you out for his ring walk and all that shit. You know what I mean? Ain't Jim Jones from Harlem or some shit? Where Jim Jones from? Where the fuck he from? Let me see. Where? No, he's from the Bronx. Never mind. Oh no, he was raised in East Harlem. Okay, so if that's the case, you go ahead and ask that motherfucker who walked you out the night of the fight in New York if pulling up on Mace would be ideal. Definitely ain't gonna do shit. Yeah, Ralph, don't touch me. Don't touch me. That's the only thing we saw him do. When Tevin pulled up, was like, yo, what's up? When I get this belt, we gonna unify. He like, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. It's like, nigga. He did that shit just to get Tevin away from me. He couldn't stand that cockeyed motherfucker pressing him for some reason. But you gonna pull up and beat the shit out of Mace. But when niggas pull up on you, your hands ain't nowhere to be found. Like, nigga, stop it, bro. Stop it. I hate the tough guy act, bro. I really do. But I'm sure Tank said a few things out of that. I just wanted to show y'all that clip because that was just Tank hating. You know what I mean? He hate the fact that he received the criticism that he received for, ducking Lamont Roach in the rematch. You know what I mean? He had some day one fans switch up on him, so he felt like he's betrayed the whole time. You betrayed the fans. That's what motherfuckers ain't talking about. He keep talking about how everybody switched up on him. No, you started that. You initiated that. Because ain't no boxing fan should ever be tolerating you ducking motherfuckers, bro. Nobody should be tolerating that. No, I'm going to tell y'all right now. I don't give a fuck how much y'all like a motherfucker. I don't give a fuck how much I like Boost, Bam, Benavidez. The moment that I start to feel like they really don't want to smoke with a particular person, I'm going to hold them accountable for it. Once I see that they ducks, bro, I'm not supporting that shit no more because that's not what I stand for as a boxer fan. That's not something that I condone. You see what I mean? Like, nigga, Boost ducking Virgin. Man, I ain't never known Boost to duck anybody. And Boost, he showed up to Dallas and was like, what's up? Let's rumble. And he calling for the fight on social media. He doing what he can to make the fight happen. How about your boy Tank? Never seen that nigga Tank pull up on anybody. That motherfucker don't even hop on social media unless he got something lined up. I'm surprised he on the internet right now. But the reason why he on the internet is because he's salty at the feedback that he received after ducking Lamont Roach. You know what I mean? He made it seem like he was going to come up crazy off of the Jake Paul fight. Anthony Joshua took your position because you can't keep your hands off a bitch, nigga. Bitch, nigga. Like, the fuck? You fumbled 40 million plus. You duck motherfuckers because you thought you was going to get that 40 million plus and ride off into the sunset, but guess what? Now you got to fight. Now you got to fight to make up that money before you walk away. So it is what it is. My boy Jay Cash followed up with two comments in the chat. He said he told them niggas F you and SMD and be calling his fans all types of bitches. You can't support a ninja. No, you can't. You can't, bro. You embarrassing yourself. Stock done went down the drain. In my opinion, stock went down the drain. Yeah, you're going to have some motherfucking delusional dudes that's be like, that's my man, my man, my man, my man. You know what I mean? They going to keep riding from Tank Sack or whatever the case is. You're going to have a few of them weirdos, but for the most part, a lot of motherfuckers banned the ship. And Tank feel betrayed because he doing pussy shit. He doing bitch shit Tank is partaking in bitch-made activities, and he getting mad that grown-ass men not condoning it. So you just want a bunch of niggas to be a bitch with you. You said you had a 6 or 7 fight deal. That was cap. You said that motherfuckers like Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney and all them will be on that list. That's cap. You see what I mean? Like you've been exposed for lying habitually throughout your career. But one thing that you did say that was probably the truest shit that you've ever said in your career is that your worst fear is losing. And let's not be wrong. Let's not get it fucked up. A lot of competitors' worst fear is losing, right? But they have enough belief in themselves and their work ethic and their abilities to take the chance, even though that is a possibility. You're not one of those individuals. Like Andre Ward said that he ain't lose a fight since he was 14, right? His worst fear was waking up Sunday morning and being embarrassed at the fact that he lost. But guess what? Andre Ward trusted in his abilities. He trusted in the work that he put in. He trusted his he trusted in himself in general to take these big challenges and win. And what did Andre Ward do? He won. He actually retired undefeated, 32-0, with big wins on his resume. That's the difference. There's nothing wrong with being afraid of losing. But when you let that doubt or you let that fear overcome you, that make you a bitch nigga. It do. Because fear is something that every human feels at some point in their life. Right? But the way you react to it is what defines your character, in my opinion. There's going to be motherfuckers who, spread their wings and fly and see what happens as a result of that. There's motherfuckers who going to stay on a tree and starve because they scared to take that leap of faith. Tank one of them niggas. And that's why he will forever be known as like a Harlem Globetrotter. You know them Harlem Globetrotters? You know what I mean? They dribble the ball. They could spin the ball on their finger. They making half-court shots. They flashy. You could tell they got skills. But you will never know how good them Harlem Globetrotters are because they not playing them NBA niggas. They're like you will be considered one of the biggest what ifs in boxing. But Tank said he don't give a fuck about that because he only came in the sport to get money. He's saying fuck the fans now. So why are you supporting him? He let you know that he finessed you. He sold you false hope. He made you believe he was the best without even having to face the best. He finessed you, brother. And that's the reality of the situation. And you can have these big chin motherfuckers on this platform trying to debate niggas down because, you know what I mean, they just some sassy ass niggas that always feel the need to want to argue with motherfuckers, bro. All right, nigga, go argue with your girl, nigga. Go do that sassy shit with your girl, nigga. Go chew your gum and, break your neck being sassy with another bitch, nigga. I ain't got time for all that. You go argue all the shit you want to argue. You can't argue facts. You know what I mean? He definitely scammed y'all. Not the nation. Not the nation. We been hip to what Tank was doing. I told y'all niggas to play a long time ago. You feel me? Told y'all niggas to play a long time ago. We hip. We aware. We know what's going on. We talking about that big chin nigga KO, the one that feel away about me. I called him all types of shit. Because, I went on his channel one time and I fried him in front of his people where his own comment section was talking about he lost. He was all upset and shit. He talking about when he next time he talks to me, it's going to be some straightening. Nigga, I'm going to straighten your motherfucking jawline, nigga. Fucking with me. Fuck is you talking about? Bitch, stay your ass in Texas. That's all I know. I know that Texas nigga just beat a Philly nigga yesterday, but we switched that shit up right away. Right away. You ain't him, brother. I promise you that. But anyways, shout out to the boy, Forever Runaway Fashion Line 448 with the $2 super chat. He says, Tank more of an asshole than Mayweather? I don't know. I don't know neither one of them personally. you know, from people, I've heard mixed reviews about both guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard Floyd Mayweather, he a cool dude behind the scenes, but then I heard people that worked with Floyd for years talk about how he's a terrible person. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of politicking that Floyd doing right now, tap dancing for them people. If you know, you know. Yeah, so there's a lot of things. You know, I admired Floyd when I was young, man. I loved his work ethic. I love what he contributed to the sport. I just love the you know the certain things that he did. He made fighters more business savvy. You know what I mean? He brought Olympic style drug testing to the sport. And even though he you know his moniker was money, 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 he did legacy defining shit as well. So that was what I respected about Floyd, you know, all in all. But as a person, he do got some fucked up ways about himself. And I think Gervonta Davis do too. And this ain't me talking like I'm a perfect individual, because trust me, I'm not. I got some fucked up ways about me too. And any man that, you know, don't walk this earth can admit that they got flaws. You know what I mean? I'm one of them. And if a motherfucker want to act like they shit don't stink, and those the motherfuckers that I don't want around me. I cannot stand the motherfucker who think they got that they shooting from the field 100% all of the time. Keep them motherfuckers away from me. So to answer your question, brother or sister, I don't know exactly who you are based off of your name, but what I can say is that I don't know. I don't know. I think they both have those tendencies, but who's more than the other, I won't know. You feel what I mean? I think that's a question for somebody who would know both of them people personally. I've heard good things about both. I heard bad things about both. But I can't give you a deciding, like I can't give you a definitive answer because I don't know neither one of them. I just know what the cameras show us. I seen Tank in person one time, but I never met him. Never had a conversation with him. Floyd, I've never even been in the same room as him that I know of. So you're speaking to somebody who don't have a direct experience with either one of them. Sorry, I can't answer your question though. Shout out to Forever Runaway Fashion Line. Fashion Line, I'm sorry. Shout out to you. He said, Lorenzo talking about, let's go, champ. No, that's a fact. Man, stay away from me, bro. That's what fucked me up. Like, somebody sent me the clip. He talking about, oh, we definitely gonna be some straightening. I'm like, who? What? Me? Shit. That shit don't work with a nigga like me. You better talk real nice. If you nigga, you want something, you want to have a you know what I mean? You want to have a peaceful conversation. You know what I'm saying? You better approach correct. Because if I feel like you disrespecting me even a little bit, it's not gonna go how you want it to go. It's not. I didn't really have an encounter with him. So what happened was my boy Reese sent me a link and was like, yo, this nigga talking crazy. Go debate this nigga. So I went on there and I fried him because supposedly he like this. And I never even heard of dude, but supposedly he's like this debate king. I didn't know till after the fact. And I fried him. Anybody that was in that chat that day, I got a few subs off of him too. They know what happened. They know exactly what happened. Nigga talking about he ain't care about. One thing y'all never hear from me, y'all, is that me saying I don't give a fuck about y'all. I would never say that. I don't give a fuck how mad I get on here or y'all. The whole chat could be against me on a conversation. I would never say fuck the nation. I would never say that. This nigga was so mad during our debate that he said he don't give a fuck about his chat. What? And if I lost a debate, it is what it is. That shit don't mean that I don't know boxing. It's just somebody had a better understanding of the topic than me. Anybody could lose a debate. But I ain't lose that one. Yep, his own mods, Coffee. His own mods was telling him, like, yo, this nigga cooking. Like, I said, bro, your own people saying you lost. He's like, I don't care, but I don't care what they talking about, bro. Like, I don't care about the chat, bro. Like, what? I don't know if that's him, J Cash. All I know is whether you send a super chat or not, I acknowledge you. If I miss you, that's a mistake. You know what I mean? But I acknowledge the whole chat. If you send super chats, it is what it is. I don't make a living off of this YouTube shit. I just genuinely enjoy it. And I fuck with my people. That's what really keep me on. I fuck with the nation. That's what, you know what I mean? That's what I'll be looking forward to when I go live just about every night. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's pretty much it. Ain't really much to say about Tank Davis no more. I'm kind of sick of talking about him, to be honest with you. So moving forward, if I ever bring him up again, it's probably because he did some stupid shit and I'm a cooking for it. And that's what he deserves because, you know, like I said, he been finessing the boxing fans for long enough. He talk all this big shit, don't ever do no big shit. You know, he's led people on for years just to be a fucking dud. The stranger said, I think you should debate more. You was really good. I watch debates a lot. I'm not really tapped in with the communities to be doing all of that, brother. It's like if somebody come on my channel and they want to do it, then we can. You know what I mean? If we disagree on a certain topic, like I think the last time we had like dude's name was like his name was like YK the Voice or some shit like that. And he was saying we was talking about like the being on cold shit with the sparring. That's probably the last time I had any type of debate. Something like that. Then like I remember I was on Claymore Range channel and Blue Blood was talking about some shit that like Boots was only champion by default. And it's like, and I was like, what you mean champion by default? Like he worked to get in that position. Oh, well, this and this happened. I'm like, all right, but what the reality still stands that he's a champion. So regardless of you know, this, you know, A, B, and C happening in the situation, the end result is him being champion. So that was because I felt like Blue Blood was trying to make it seem like Boots wasn't really like a notable champion or he wasn't like a legit champion because he had the interim belt and he was moved up to force that. That's not his fault. That's not his fault at all. And then he was saying something about how, you know, Virgil Ortiz was in line to face Stanionis for the WBA and, you know, he only got that WBA strap by default because, you know, Virgil Ortiz couldn't make weight. It's like, bro, if nigga, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. If my daughter had wheels, she'd be a bike, nigga. Like, what is we talking about? The reality is he was a unified champion no matter how you want to spin it. See, whenever it's somebody that a motherfucker, and I'm not saying this Blue Blood, I don't know him like that. I don't really even be tapped in with what he be talking about. But what I do know is what I be noticing, and this be with fighters and media outlets, whenever it's somebody they like to deal with reality, right? Oh, well, the reality is this, and that. Okay. But whenever it's a fighter that they don't like, then they want to add like context to situations. Oh, well, like for instance, Devin Haney's like if you like Devin Haney, right? And I fuck with Devin Haney, especially after this last fight. He a 2-division world champion. Well, 3-division world champion. I'm sorry. No, I'm not saying anything bad about Blue Blood. That's not what we doing. I was just bringing up an instance where we, you know, that could have been considered a debate. That's all. Devin Haney, a 3-division world champion. Cool. You could say, yo, Devin Haney won titles in 3 divisions. He's a 3-time world champion, former undisputed, blah, blah. That's the reality, right? Cool. That'd be somebody, if you like Devin Haney, you're going to approach it like that. But then let's say you got somebody like Shakur Stevenson, who's a 3-division world champion in his own right. Then you like, nah, but he fought Joet Gonzalez for his first belt, man. He wasn't no experienced champion. Then he beat Valdez, but Valdez was coming off a close fight with Conceição. Bro, if you're going to be adding context to everybody's accomplishments to try to, you know, minimize what they did, do it for everybody. So it's either you're gonna deal with reality for each and every fighter, or you're gonna use context for just about everybody. Like you can't have it both ways. Oh, this person ain't fight nobody. Oh, this person didn't fight nobody. Oh, Boots ain't fight nobody. But then when there's somebody that they like, oh, well, this guy, he was an Olympian. Bro, if you got to bring up the amateurs about a pro fighter, if you take a pro fighter, right? I'm gonna tell y'all something. If I take a pro fighter and he be like, yo, and you got him on the pound for pound list in the pros, he be like, oh, what has he done? Man, he's a 2-time gold medalist, man. Man, he won a gold medal. Man, he was the number one. Man, his record was. If you got to bring up the amateurs to validate a pro, it's probably because he ain't do shit in the pros. And amateur accolades should never be brought up when trying to justify how good a pro boxer is. It shouldn't be, because they're two totally different settings. I've seen fighters be shitty amateurs and be world-class professionals. I've seen great amateurs turn out to be shitty professionals. So there's no need to bring up amateur accomplishments. I mean, it's cool if you like a prospect and you got 1-2 fights. We're not really expecting you to be much at that moment. When you a solidified pro contender, world champion, if you have to bring up the amateurs to validate how good you are as a fighter and you are a seasoned pro, it's probably because you've underachieved in professional boxing. That's all I'm saying. Lorenzo said those 2 gold medals Loma had meant nothing to Salido. Facts. And I bet you Salido was a way better professional than he ever was an amateur. I never heard about him being like this. Like, for instance, Floyd is an Olympian. How often do you hear people talking about Floyd being an Olympian? You might bring up him being robbed in the Olympics, but when you run through his achievements and what he's done in boxing, how often do they bring up his amateur record? Rarely. You know why? Because he did enough in the pros. You don't need to talk about the amateurs. Shit, you look up Orlando Salido amateur record, they said his exact amateur record isn't detailed. Like, that lets you know everything you need to know. Mikey Garcia whooped Salido. Yes, he did. I think it ended up being a technical decision, though. I think they headbutted and Mikey's nose was broken. Mikey had to do a whole surgery on his nose. I remember that. Amateurs only get 3 rounds or 9 minutes to prove they won, right? Correct. If they open class. If they're sub-novice or novice, they get even less time than that. They could, like 8-year-olds and shit, like when they first, like those really young fighters, they only fight 1-minute rounds. But like, older, novice, kid, like teenagers and shit, they only rumbling like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes a round. But if you open class, it's supposed to be 3 minutes. If you're open class, meaning 10 fights or more, you're supposed to be fighting 3-minute rounds. Loma was grown beating up kids. Devin was a kid beating up adults. Yo, you know that Loma fought Felix Verdejo when Felix Verdejo was like 17, and Felix almost beat him. Almost beat him. And Verdejo was like 16, 17, bro. But that's a great fucking point. That's a great point from Southwest. J Cash said, wow, I ain't know that. Yeah. Yeah, bro. When you an 8-year-old, like we be having little 8-year-olds fight at our amateur shows. They fights be done in 3 minutes, bro. And I think they breaks be 1 minute. So you got 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. They fights be 6 minutes total. Yeah, Benavidez didn't have an amateur career neither. So he wasn't a great amateur. But he was a great fucking pro. The fight is on YouTube too. Yes, it is. Felix Verdejo did his thing, man. That's why I was so high on him. That's why I was so high on Verdejo, bro. Him falling apart like that shit broke my heart. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That shit had me hurt. Sometimes thinking about it, I still be disappointed. Like, damn, dog. Hold on, bro. Mm-hmm. Anyways, shout out to the 50 people in the building. I was going to talk about Lamont Roach and Eastside Cruz possibly doing a rematch. You know, I'm going to give my quick thoughts on that, and then I'm going to open the platform up for anybody that want to come through and chop it up with the nation. You feel me? My thoughts, guys. I had somebody ask me, would you like to see a rematch between the two on Instagram? Shout out to my boy Josh for asking me that question. My whole thoughts is it was an entertaining fight. You know, a lot of people felt like the fight was controversial, whatever the case is. If the opportunity is there, like if there's some availability between the two to make the fight happen, why not? Why not? What was Boots like as an amateur? He was phenomenal. Olympic alternate. I think in his amateur career, he only lost to Gary Antoine Russell. Beat notable guys like Jermaine Ortiz, Richardson Hitchens. He beat up on a lot of dudes, actually. He was dominant. He won national tournaments and all types of shit. Like Boots was the truth as an amateur, and that's why Cameron Duncan picked him up. Cameron Duncan had multiple world champions. Tim Bradley. Cameron Duncan had a whole list of guys. You think Boots could? I don't know what you try to say. You think Boots can fight Gary in the pros? Man, Gary Antoine not moving up anytime soon. I heard that man talk about moving down to lightweight. Like, he's small, bro. He not Boots and him. I don't think they'll ever fight. Diego Corrales, Johnny Tapia. Then he worked with more than 30 world champions. Sheesh. And Cameron Duncan did have Terrence Crawford too. That's a fact. Cameron Duncan's the reason why Tim Bradley and Crawford, ended up having a friendship, because Cameron Duncan sent Crawford over to Tim Bradley's camp to spar, because Tim Bradley was beating up everybody in sparring. He was like, yo, I need some work. He said, all right, I got this guy from Nebraska coming in, blah, blah, blah. Let me know what you think about him. And Tim whooped him. Mm-hmm. Southwest Dice said Roach Cruz team gonna fight each other next. Fight each other the next 2 years. PBC recycling. Hey, man. If that boy Tank had more courage, this wouldn't be happening. And I don't think he'll ever give Roach a rematch. I think that's what I meant to say. Bud whooped him. Terrence Crawford whooped him ass. R3 said, how do you think Antoine Russell and Subriel Matias plays out? That's a good fucking fight, bro. I think Gary Antoine will end up pulling that fight out. I think Antoine can match Subriel's intensity in terms of volume. He's good power. He has good power, but I think what's going to help him is his athleticism, his hand speed. I think that I think he will. I think he has the tools to defeat Subriel. I think he can get the better of the exchanges due to the hand speed, but Subriel, he a problem, bro. He rips to the body. His he don't really give you much room to breathe. If Gary Antoine goes on that back foot, shit could really, if he don't play his cards right, he could really take a beating. So I think Gary Antoine to pull that off, though. I think Antoine will beat Subriel. It's not like I'm rooting for Subriel anyway. Who do I see Tank fighting next? I don't know. I think Tank said in one of his tweets that once his knee get better, so apparently he had a knee injury, that he's gonna rematch Pitbull. That's like, for what? The first fight, like, you won clearly. I never understood that. I never understood what was this talk about Tank and Pitbull rematch, and that was easy money for Tank, in my opinion. Motherfucker hurt his hand from hitting Eastside Cruz upside his hard ass head. He's like, all right, well, I got my feet and I got one hand. And he boxed the shit out of him. So why do that? Bella Faith in the building. She said, I don't think it's over for Fulton, but after missing weight and getting outclassed, does he need to fight next at 35 or go back to 26? He better stay the fuck away from 135 pounds. Stephen Fulton looks significantly smaller than O'Shaquie at 130. I can only imagine how much smaller he will look against a full-fledged 135-pounder. Stephen Fulton needs to be more disciplined. He needs to stop blowing up in weight and being 160-plus pounds before training camp starts. That's irresponsible. You know what I mean? You're making things a lot more harder than it needs to. You need to live the lifestyle as a fighter. Take a page out of your Muslim brothers, your Philly Muslim brother Bernard Hopkins' book. Take a page out of his book. You know what I mean? Put that fork down, man. You know what I mean? Take your career serious, because at this point, you in the second half of your career. You know what I mean? You might have more time behind you than ahead of you, so you need to take these last moments serious, man. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason why somebody as small as you is 160 plus pounds. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of corner cutting. It's a lot of, negligence on your part, and it's showing. And you got. I'm not gonna lie, that was an embarrassing performance. You embarrassed yourself by missing weight. Then the icing on the cake was you being completely outclassed, dominated. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a lack of hunger. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's inactivity. I don't know what it is. But what I can say is that there's no way you could convince me that you just made 126 pounds in February against Brandon Figueroa of this year, and 10 months later you outgrew 2 divisions. There's no way you can make me believe that. So within 10 months, you outgrew 26 and 30. No, you were fat as shit, eating. Talking about you had 2 plates for Thanksgiving with some dessert and shit like that, making it seem like weight was so easy to make. The whole time, you never made the weight. And I said this in the video earlier, I didn't upload, but I don't want anybody moving with this narrative that O'Shaquie beat a natural 122-pounder with Stephen Fulton, or he beat a unfocused Steve. No. Fulton looks for the O'Shaquie fight. It wasn't the other way around. He requested that fight. O'Shaquie obliged him. He moved up in weight. O'Shaquie didn't make him move up in weight for an opportunity. And this wasn't a situation where O'Shaquie bullied him and made it clear that he was the bigger man. No, he outclassed him. He outskilled him. This wasn't he was too big. He was just too big. No, he was too skilled. And maybe, you being negligent with your weight, you probably had a shitty camp. You probably was Probably just had a fat camp. You probably was just worried about your weight the whole camp. You wasn't really honing in on your skills or anything like that. You just worried about your weight, worried about your weight, worried about your weight, and that's why you didn't look as sharp as you have in your previous fights. But to answer your question, Bella, I said all of that to say he doesn't need to be fighting at no 35. To be honest, he shouldn't be fighting at no 130 neither. He needs to be at 126. Get your weight in order so that way the weight falls off of you in camp. And you ain't got to worry about and that way you can just actually focus on boxing. Ramadan coming up soon, brother. What they said, like 75, 74 days until Ramadan, probably more or less than that. Matter of fact, how many days until Ramadan?
Okay, I found this on the web for how many days until Ramadan.
Check it out. You just can't tell me the fucking number. Siri's fucking shitty, bro. And 71 days. 71 days, Ramadan coming around. Take that time to get your fucking weight in order, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like really be disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason why, bro. Like, Stephen Fulton, like 5'5", 5'6", bro. Why are you 160 plus pounds as a professional fighter? Why? That's ridiculous, dog. What you think? Like, you know what I mean? You came back and became world champion, and like I heard Stephen Fulton talk about how he big. No, you're not big, cuz you're not. You're not big. Who told you that? No, you're fat. Like that's what was disappointing. I'm hearing him. He talking. He said he loves to eat. Yeah, we could tell. And guess what? That's you love eating so much that it's hindering your performances in the ring. You love eating so much that you had to cut Stephen Fulton. You had to cut O'Shaquie Foster, you know, a portion of your check in order to fight. You love eating that much. Eating come before your bread. Come on, dog. That's ridiculous, man. That fork should not come before your money, brother. It shouldn't. R3 says, do you think Fulton needs a tune-up or should he go straight to a unification fight with one of the champs at 126? I don't know. You know, like Fulton he has a lot of belief in himself, justifiably so. He's a talented fighter. This isn't me shitting on him. I mean, I think a lot of people get that misconstrued. This is me just voicing my disappointment for his performance because I expect more out of him than that. And everybody knows that Stephen Fulton is a talented fighter, a hell of a fighter. There's no reason why you should be carrying yourself the way that you are. You're embarrassing yourself. You set yourself up for failure. Simple and plain. But to really answer this question, R3, I would like to see Stephen Fulton just fight somebody within his rankings when he come back. You know what I mean? Get that weight off the right way. You know what I mean? Put that motherfucking fork down. You know what I mean? And just lock in on your boxing career. Worry about the food and all that shit when you retire, brother. The food will always be there. I promise you, the food ain't going nowhere. That seafood, that ain't going nowhere. The pasta, that ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? Whatever food it is that you like, it's not going nowhere, brother. I promise you that. Lock in on your craft. You know what I mean? Get yourself back in the picture in terms of being like a notable, like get yourself back in the winning column and run this fucking money up because you don't know how much longer you got left in the sport, brother. You don't. Shout out to the boy Forever Runway with another super chat. He says Fulton needs to get back at anyway. I don't think so. I think he needs to stay far away from now you anyway. You had that fight. You know what I mean? You just lost to O'Shaquie Foster. The last thing you should be worried about is now you anyway. Get yourself back in the winning column. You know what I mean? And if, you know what I mean, you can cash out with some unification fights, then, you know, so be it. Get it done. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's my thing. It's like, you know, go get it done. Go get them big fights going. But yeah, I don't think him fighting Iowa anyway would be ideal. Like we seen that fight, it wasn't competitive. You know, Iowa anyway was levels above him. Seemed he was a step ahead of him each and every time. Whenever Inoue wanted to box, he outboxed him. Whenever he wanted to trade with him, he beat him in that department. He beat him in every single aspect of the fight. Like he just completely outclassed Fulton. And it is what it is. Fulton's one of the best fighters in the world. I mean, Inoue, I'm sorry. I keep getting the names mixed up. I keep misplacing the names. Naoya Inoue is one of the best fighters in the world. Top 3, pound for pound, in my opinion. I hope Fulton don't come back at 30. Because if he does that, that just lets me know that, you know, he's not really taking this shit serious. There's no reason why you should be fighting at 30, bro. No reason. And if you are going to stay at 30, get that fucking belt up so Bruce Carrington can fight for it or be elevated, whatever the case is. But I saw Stephen Fulton's post on Instagram. He said he'd be back. He going to come back like he always do. You know, that's positive words to hear from Fulton, and I believe in him. But you can't, like, at this stage of your career, you can't be moving like that, bro. That's 215 says Fulton versus Ray Savage. They like the same size. That'll be a good fucking fight. That's Philly versus Camden right there, boy. And that'll be crazy because, you know, they know a lot of the same people. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of motherfuckers from Philly playing in neutral or choosing sides, and there's gonna be animosity and shit like that. I think it'll definitely be some drama in the air, bro. And I heard Ray Savage talk about, oh, like, I can't even feel bad for him because he be talking like he this cash cow. So that was a shot directly at Stephen Fulton. So he probably, you know, Ray, he probably don't be trying to be cool with nobody. He really probably don't fuck with Fulton all like that. But I know they've been in the same gym. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had to have sparred. They had to have sparred. I'm almost willing to bet that they did. Yeah, I mean, like Ray Savage, he didn't really look impressive to me in that Abraham Nova fight. Fulton coming off of a loss. Yeah, I mean, but then again, that's going to be like a PBC matchroom type of fight. Like, I don't know, man. Somebody put a link in the chat. Let me see what Dust's talking about. Yeah, so Raymond Ford said, I can't even feel bad because dude was popping it like some type of cash cow. That's his take. But if they were to fight Philly versus Camden, that fight needs to happen. That fight needs to happen somewhere near here. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Yo, check this out. Can you imagine Boots coming back to Atlantic City or motherfucking? Because, you know, Camden, I could literally show you Camden from my crib right now. If I was to put my camera, my laptop camera, like if I was to go to my roof right now and put my laptop camera out there for y'all to see, I could literally point at Camden from where I'm at. It's literally like an 8-minute drive from where I am right now. Philly and Camden is only separated by the Ben Franklin Bridge, and the Ben Franklin Bridge is only 3 miles long. No, 1.5 miles long. So, and Fulton, you know, he's had a few different Philadelphia trainers. You know, Raymond Ford, he's had Philadelphia trainers. they be around the same people. You know, I know Ray be down Shakur Stevenson's camp now in Houston and shit like that. But before all of that, he was down here. He made his pro debut in Philadelphia. I was there. He fought somebody. He fought some dude from Delaware. I think he fought Woosie Johnson in the Leacourt Center, his pro debut. I'll never forget that, John. Because in the first round, he got a crazy knockdown. Then he just outboxed him after that. But you know, like he has a, you know, he reps Camden, but he has a deep Philadelphia history. Like he has that'll be crazy, bro. Motherfuckers gonna be playing it real neutral, like, nah, you know what I mean? May the best man win, blah, blah. Then you're gonna have motherfuckers choosing sides and they gonna have issues. Like that's gonna be deep. That fight might get personal. That fight might really get personal. So we'll see. What weight class do you think Lamont Roach's next fight takes place at? Probably 140, because he probably going to rematch Shakur Cruz, because this is the situation, y'all. Shakur Cruz, he has the interim WBC title, so technically he's supposed to be in line to face Super L. But from what the WBC just said, the winner of Dalton Smith and Super L have to see Albert Puello. So that leaves Shakur Cruz sitting around for a little while. Shakur Cruz got to stay busy. I know he don't want to sit on the shelf like these other PBC fighters do. So Lamont Roach rematch may be his only other option. And what Lamont Roach got lined up? He just got his, you know, they just took his title from him at 130. The boy, somebody by the name of like Jazza Dickens or some shit like that, just got elevated to full status champion in the WBA. So it's like, it's not like you go back to 30 and and defend your title. 35. What's that 35 right now? You talking about fighting Shakur? Shakur about to fight Tio. You ain't about to fight Abdullah Mason. You ain't about to fight Tank. Tank don't even want to rumble you. He made it clear he don't. He's trying to fight Jake Paul. Raymond Mortataya, he caught up with Andy Cruz right now. They about to rumble. Where are you going? He said Rigo knocked him out. What you mean? Wait, what'd I say? Rigo knocked out who? I don't know what I said. Oh, shit. Damn, what weight class that was in? Was that like at 22? Let me see. I mean, I ain't surprised. Rigo a few years back was knocking shit out. Okay. Man, his nose all crooked. You see him on BoxRec? His nose crooked than a bitch. 34 years old, 5'5", with a 63-inch reach. Wait, is this him? Wait, this can't be him. Is his name James? No, this can't be him. Okay, so his name is James. Damn, he been knocked out 4 out of his 5 losses. Oh, he was one of that was at 122. This was one of the guys that Guillermo Rigondeaux broke his jaw. Yo, I remember Rigondeaux went on a streak. Rigondeaux went on a streak where he broke like 3 people's jaw in a row. I was like, yo, this nigga right here, bro. Man, Rigondeaux is a fucking beast, bro. That's one of my favorite fighters, bro. You know what? I feel like I've been doing Rigo a disservice. So now when people talk about who my favorite fighters are all time, Rigo gonna be on that list. Tito Trinidad. We're gonna talk about Lennox Lewis, James Toney. We're gonna put Guillermo on there. Fuck it. Then we fuck with of course we fuck with Larry Holmes. You know what I mean? My list change all the time. But yeah, Andre Ward. Yep. Damn, how I forget about Andre Ward? Floyd Mayweather. I mean, no. Bullshit. Tito Trinidad, Andre Ward, Lennox Lewis, James Toney. Shit, Guillermo might hit that number 5 list because peak Guillermo, bro, nasty, bro. I be fucking with them Cuban fighters, man. Like, when Luis Ortiz, I remember, bro. I was like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? Luis Ortiz, when he knocked out Brian Jennings. Brian Jennings is a Philadelphia fighter, heavyweight bull, small heavyweight, yeah, heavyweight. I remember he fought Luis Ortiz on HBO, and I seen this 6'4" motherfucker jump over the top rope on some WWE shit. I was like, who the fuck is this? And mind you, he's 6'4" with a 7-foot reach. Luis Ortiz. And when he was young, bro, mind you, he's 46 now. Motherfucker's still fighting. Probably older than that, to be real. But when he fought Brian Jennings, he was like 36 years old. This was like a decade ago, bro. 30, 35, I don't know. Probably was like 35 years old. So this was like 10 years ago. And he beat the dog shit out of Brian Jennings, bro. And I was like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? And I was following Luis Ortiz all the way till then, but he got fucked over by the politics of boxing for real. Cubans got the rhythm, timing, and footwork that's similar to Black American style. Facts. It just sucks that a lot of them, aren't able to come off of that fucking island, bro, because there was some fighter. I'm sure there's some fighters from that island that weren't never able to leave that probably would have did a lot of damage in the pros, bro. Like Teofilo Stevenson. I heard they shot him a lucrative offer to turn pro, and he was like, why would I care about, he said some crazy shit like, why would I think he was like a 3-time gold medalist, and they had offered him a crazy bag to fight, and he was like, no, like he turned that shit down to stay in Cuba. They said Teofilo Stevenson they said he had Ali speed and Foreman's power. They said quick hands, powerful jab, excellent footwork, and a devastating straight right. And George Foreman said if Teofilo turns pro, he beats them all. That's crazy. That's disappointing as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. It said he remained an amateur his entire career out of loyalty to Cuba and its revolutionary ideals, famously turning down massive offers to fight Muhammad Ali and becoming a national hero and symbol of socialist sport. Considered the greatest who never turned pro. I'm trying to find that quote that he said. Oh, he said, what is $1 million compared to the love of 8 million Cubans? Shit. Niggas offering me 5 M's. I don't give a fuck about what 8 million people gotta think about me. But not everybody like me though, right? Shout out to Tia Philo. But anyways, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love as always. If y'all go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'll be very much appreciated. I'll be back at y'all with another live 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world. Until then, I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.